It's a small world after all.
It's a small world after all.
No, anything but that.
It's a small world. This is one of my favorite games that I've played recently and have learned to love. It's one that I don't get to the table as much as I would like, but it is probably my most requested game as of late. Small World is a area of control game in which it uses all of the fantasy characters that you might be familiar with from J.R.R. Tolkien's work or pieces of work that use fantasy creatures such as elves, dwarves, ogres, ghouls, etc., etc. It is exceptionally fun and a lot of strategy in it and a lot of things to think about as far as this game goes. Each of the races, each of the abilities, all do different things. You can be elves who are dragon masters who are going through destroying areas on the map, but you can also be pillaging wizards who are going through and just need to fight things every time, as well as conquering certain lands. It adds a lot of variety and a lot of replayability, and that's what I really like about this game. Now today we are going to be setting up for a 4-player game. This is the 4-player board. You can tell that by looking in the top right corner up here that has a number. This game plays anywhere from 2 to 5, and they have a board corresponding with that. Today we'll be teaching you how to set up the game, how to play the game, and also how to score the game. So the first thing is setup. First thing is you're going to look for this little crown here, and you're going to take it and find the turn marker, turn indicator part of the board. And there you're going to place it on the first round. Depending on how many players you have, there are more rounds or less rounds. For a 4-player game, there are 9 rounds, and we'll play all the way down. So, everyone who is in the game gets 5 coins to start. Coins in this game are also victory points. So it's something to think about, because every time you spend coins to buy something, to get a new race, as it were, you are spending your victory points. So everyone gets 5 to start. Whenever sending out your board, you'll look for any areas that are mountainous, that are gray and have the peaks of mountains, and you're going to take these little mountain tokens and place them on there. That's to help you for later, and I'll explain why that is. There are also these, which are natives to the map. Any of the map markers that have a small white square need one of these to cover them up. But they are there primarily for the start of the game to add a little bit of challenge when moving around, and also if these areas are ever relinquished and no one owns them, they will come back. According to the rules, whichever player's ears are the most pointed starts. You could also just take this die and roll it. The die itself has 3 blank faces, 1 1 face, 1 2 face, and 1 3 face. And that is for combat, which we'll get into in a minute. So, let's say I'm going first. I have these races and combos to look at to start. The top one is completely free, and that would be the Spirit Tritons. Next one is the Seafaring Sorcerers. If I were to take that one, I would have to place 1 coin on the top one. And that goes the same for the rest of them. So if I wanted, say, the Pillaging Wizards, I would have to take 1 coin and put it on every single one that I skipped. And the Hill Giants are also in this as well. So you have 6 different options here. So we have the Spirit Tritons, the Seafaring Sorcerers, the Flying Trolls, the Mounted Elves, and the Pillaging Wizards. So for the sake of this, I will go with the Sorcerers. So I will place 1 on the Tritons and take these. And the great thing about this game is all of these powers and races can be swapped out. So the Sorcerers next time might be Hill Sorcerers. So each of these abilities are different things. This is the Seafaring Sorcerers. And now if you look at these, in the corners there are 2 numbers, 5 and 5. And what those mean is that is the number of troops that you get. So you add them together, so you get 10 sorcerers to start. So in your game, you'll have this little cubby here, and in this cubby are all of the races that are in the game. Sorcerers, I'll take 10 of them. Now that I've chosen my race, I will choose an area on the board to start at. Now, any area that does not have either a mountain or some other enemy out there costs 2. I am the seafaring sorcerers, so what that means is I can take over the water areas. In Smallworld, the only ones that can do that are the seafaring ones. So that is the special ability of the seafaring sorcerers. So I'll go ahead and start up here, and I will start. So you have to start at the edge of the board for your first time with a race. You can start from anywhere that's adjacent to the water. You can also start anywhere down here on the edge of the board, just somewhere from the edge of the board. For them, I'm going to start right here, and see there's no mountain marker on it. So I will start with this one. Every space like this costs 2 people, so 2 people and I conquer it. I'm gonna go to this one next. That costs 2 people as well. And I will go here, since I can take over water spaces, and I will take over that. And then I will take over this place here. Now it has a person on it, so for every chip that is on it, you have to spend 1 extra person. So normally it costs 2, however, since this is here, it costs 3. Now, this person is out of the game for now. And now I've got 1 guy left, which with 1 guy I can't take over any region. However, I can try to beat 1 region by rolling. So I could choose the swamps here, and it normally costs 2. However, I only have the 1, so I can roll for it. If I get a +1, which is what I need to get to 2, I'll be fine. However, if I roll a 0, I have to pick this back up. So I'm gonna roll. I got a 2 on the die. So what that means is that's plenty, that's enough. So I take over that region as well. Now I am done. So what I can do is I can fortify. So I will take this off and put it here. With fortification, things to think about is that any one person by themselves, if they are defeated, then they go straight back to the box. They're out of the game completely. If someone were to go here and take on these 3 sorcerers and knock them out, 2 of these would come back to me, and the 3rd one would go back to the box. So no matter whenever you suffer a defeat, you're going to lose 1 person, unless you're elves. Which almost everything that's in this game, there's 1 race or 1 power that does what you can't do. So normally you can't take over water, but I have the seafaring sorcerers, so they do. Normally, anytime you're defeated, you lose 1 person. If you're the elves, you get it back to hand. It's things like that. And in this game, they give you a really nice cheat sheet. And this cheat sheet has everything listed out and explained very thoroughly. I could be here all day trying to go through every single one of these. There's a lot of variety in this game, and different things act differently depending on what they're paired with. For instance, the sorcerers, their ability is, if they're adjacent to an area that's controlled by an enemy, they can choose that area and convert that person into a sorcerer if they are by themselves. It only works if they're by themselves. So that would be the end of my turn. I could fortify, like I said. You probably don't want to leave 1 alone if you can help it. In the water, it's fine for me because no one else can get there. So now that I'm done, I'm going to count up my points. You get 1 point for every place you own, and you get other points depending on what your special ability might be. Now, my special ability doesn't deal anything in extra points, so I just count up the number of places I own, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I will get 5 gold, and that'll be the end of my turn. Next, it goes to player 2. They look at the board and make their selection based off what all is out here. And let's say they go with the flying trolls. So once again, you look at the 2 You look at the two orange numbers on the board. So 5 and 5, once again, they get 10 as well. And we pull that from the little cubby hole here. One thing to also know, whenever you're placing your races on the board, make sure that they are face up where you can see the colored side. So like this is face up, this would be face down. And there's a reason for that I'll explain in a minute. So I've got the flying trolls. With the flying ability, they're able to go anywhere on the board they want, except for the water. They can't go on the water, but anywhere on land, they can go and take it over. So they're just going to start. So once again, that's 2 there. It's 2 there. They can go 2 here. They'll go 2 here and 2 here. Just really spreading themselves out across the board and getting as many cheap places as they can. The troll special ability is they get these tokens here, which there's this little layer is what they're called, trolls layers. And every place that they own gets enhanced by 1 more defense. Each of these places are bolstered by 1 extra defense. So if you wanted to take over this location here, it's got 2 troll tokens and a troll's lair, plus the normal 2. So that would be 5 people you would need to take that over. Builds a very strong defense, makes them pretty formidable. So anyways, that goes around. 3rd player and 4th player will do the same thing. They will choose whichever race they want, pay the difference going down to it, and make their way onto the board. Trolls, they don't get any extra money, so they would also get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 money as well. Once everyone has completed their turn, the turn marker goes down from 1 to 2, and we're into the 2nd turn. Eventually, you're going to get to the point where you're so beat down that there's nothing really left for you to do. You don't want to get to this point. What you want to do is you want to get your race, you want to get your team built to the point where they are at their peak. And once they're at their peak, then you want to do what's called going into decline. So on your turn at the beginning, you can decide to go into decline. What that means is every race token that you have out there, so let's say the sorcerers that spread out about like this. You know, they've taken over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 places. That's a pretty good area of control there. So what you would want to do is you would want to choose to go into decline. What that means is all of your active tokens you have out here that, like I said, were colored face up, you're going to flip them to where they're no longer color faced up. They're the muted gray, black and white color facing up. You'll flip all of these, and then you will score up those points. Like I said, there's 10 places you own, that'd be 10 points. You also flip over your board and your power board. Some of these have abilities that withstand into being in decline, such as the dwarves. They continue to get points from mines. There's a few other examples. After going into decline, your next turn will be choosing a new race/power and taking that onto your team. Now, as far as your sorcerers that you have out here, those guys are going to stay there. They're going to stay there getting more and more money every single round until someone, your enemies, go through and basically wipe them from the board. Throughout this game, you can only have 1 race in decline. If you were to put a 2nd race into decline, all of these race tokens that you have out there from your first one will be gone. Once again, there are exceptions. There is an exception to this rule, and that would be the spirited power bonus. Like I said, pretty much anything you do in this game, there's one outlier who can do the opposite. You'll keep doing this, keep going round and round, do it all the way for 9 rounds in this case. Each round, you'll get points based off how many areas you own, and also any special abilities that might be on yours. For instance, like the pillaging wizards. you had those out there. For every place you took over that has an active race token on it, you get 1 victory point for taking it over. Every single one of them. And also, any of them that have this blue like double X symbol here, any area you own like that, you would get an extra coin for. So these are examples of how you can get some extra coins depending on what your power and race is. Once you get done with your 9 rounds in a 4-player game, you count up the number of tokens you have. Whoever has the most tokens wins. It's that simple. I say it's that simple. All of these races, all of these powers, all do different things, and there's a bit of learning those. That's what you have the cheat sheet for. It's there to help you out. Look at it for anything you're not certain of. The more you play, the more you'll understand. It's a great game. I love this game. It's one I'm really looking forward to getting to the table with my friends, and it's one that I hope you really enjoy. If you have any questions about the game, feel free to get into the comment section below. I'll definitely help you out as much as I can with it. Like I said, I love this game, and I think you will too, because it's a small world after all. I'm sorry, I had to do it one more time. Anyways, that's the way we roll. See you next time.